The last call. It was a quiet Friday night. Mike, a freelance photographer, was returning from a shoot in a remote area just outside the city. The drive was long and desolate, and his only company was the occasional flicker of his headlights reflecting off trees along the road. He was almost home when his phone buzzed on the passenger seat. It was a message from an unknown number. "Look behind you." Mike's heart skipped a beat. He glanced quickly at the rearview mirror, expecting to see someone or something lurking in the shadows. But there was nothing. The road was empty. He shrugged it off as a prank. His life as a freelancer had exposed him to all sorts of odd messages from fans or trolls online. But then the phone buzzed again. "Turn around." This time a cold chill ran down his spine. He slowed down but kept driving, trying to shake off the unsettling feeling creeping over him. He thought of calling his friend Sam to share his growing anxiety, but then the phone buzzed a third time. "I'm right behind you." Mike slammed on the brakes and jerked his head toward the rearview mirror again. His pulse raced and his eyes widened as he caught a glimpse of headlights in the distance. But the car was too far away. Couldn't be that close. Could it? Trying to stay calm, Mike reached for his phone, intent on blocking the number, when it buzzed once more. "Pull over." At this point, Mike's hands were trembling. Something about this felt real. He wasn't sure if someone was toying with him or if this was something worse. Against his better judgment, he pulled over to the side of the road and turned off the engine. Before he could decide what to do next, the phone buzzed again. "Look in your rear view mirror." Mike slowly raised his eyes and froze. Right there, only a few feet behind his car, were two glowing eyes. The figure was too dark to make out, but the eyes, they were unnatural, like something inhuman. His stomach dropped. Panicking, Mike started the car again and pressed the gas, but the figure in the mirror stayed with him. It didn't move, but the eyes seemed to follow him, getting closer and closer. He couldn't look away. His breathing was shallow, heart hammering. Suddenly, the phone rang. It was the same unknown number. He answered it without thinking. "Get out of the car," a cold voice said. Mike's blood ran cold. He slammed the phone back into the seat, not wanting to hear another word, but his hands refused to stop shaking. He glanced again into the mirror and realized with horror that the figure wasn't just following him. It was in the back seat. Before he could even react, the figure leaned forward, its cold breath visible in the rearview mirror, whispering, "I told you to pull over." Mike swerved the car violently, crashing it into a nearby tree. Mike woke up in a hospital, groggy and disoriented. Paramedics said they found him unconscious in his car after the crash, but there was no trace of anyone else. No footprints, no evidence that anyone had been in the back seat. He later checked his phone for the messages, but the unknown number had disappeared. No trace of the chilling texts or calls. But Mike would never forget those eyes. And when the phone buzzed again months later, with just one message, he knew it wasn't over. "Remember me?